Do you find yourself overwhelmed with technology? Technology that's supposed to make your life easier, but is only seeming to make it harder? Well, I got you. It's time to have your tech work for you instead of just annoy you all the time. Imagine a tech setup that supports you, automates things for you, and frees you up to focus on what truly matters. In this video, I'll guide you through my own tech stack and show you the key technology that my business is using to free up my time and level up our whole business. Let's get started. I'm Joey Vitale. Welcome back to the channel where I help you escape the grind, hire all-star VAs, and cut your work week in half. Let's dive into it. When it comes to tech stack and what I'm personally using in my business, I have to start out by talking about Slack. Now, when it comes to these channels, I want to be clear here. The reason why Slack is so powerful is because instead of it being set up so that you are just communicating with certain teammates or one particular teammate, it's all broken up into what they call channels, and you can make this private or public. But what's great is that these channels are very roles based. So the way that we've set it up is we have channels for the different types of departments in the business. So we have channels for marketing, for sales, for operations, bookkeeping, customer work, client fulfillment, escalated concerns, things like that. And we only add certain teammates to channels that are applicable to their roles. And that makes it really easy when we have to say something to the team about that topic in the business. Instead of trying to think, oh, who all needs to be included in this message, we just go to that channel. And it makes things really easy because over time, it's just a really great reference point. You don't have to dive into your emails searching for a particular message or thread. You can just scroll up or use their search functionality, which is great. Now, like I said, our team really uses Slack for communication, except for when we're using this other tool that's all about projects, to-dos, and specific tasks that we're working on. For all of the conversations and deadlines and everything around tasks and projects, for that we use ClickUp. Now, look, there are a ton of options out there when it comes to a project management app. Our team has experimented with a bunch, and over the years we've just landed on ClickUp. It's got really great features, it's super affordable, but I will say that almost all of the popular project management apps that might be outdated by the time I name them here, if you Google project management apps, a lot of them are probably going to be just fine for you. The tricky thing with those types of apps is less about getting one with all the features that you need, because they're all pretty similar, but making sure that you and your team are all really bought into the idea that you will be using that. And I mean, it can be really tough as a CEO where we're not super detail oriented to create this build out in this app that is meant to be super detail oriented. So just make sure that you pick one. Again, we use and love ClickUp, but I'm pretty platform agnostic on that one. The key is that you do have a place to be very intentional and detailed with the specific tasks, projects, deadlines, and conversations around those tasks. And so that is a really great complement to what we have going on with Slack. These days, if you're building a business and you're building a brand online, it's really helpful to have a way to send emails to, yes, your customers and clients, but also that larger email list. Whether you've got a newsletter that you're sending or you're reaching back out to certain leads who have expressed interest at some time, there are a bunch of options out there, from MailChimp to Infusionsoft to ActiveCampaign, but my team and I now use Flowdesk, and we love it. Now, Flowdesk isn't for everyone, especially if you really love an app with all the bells and whistles, but we found that when it comes to sending these emails, we really like taking a minimalist, simple approach. And what's great about Flowdesk is, number one, it is super simple to use. Once you get the hang of it, it really removes a lot of potentially advanced features that aren't really necessary for us right now. and it doesn't have a whole bunch of like if this then that brackets around potential sequences and really complicated email structures that you can send. We really simplified our approach. And the other great thing about Flowdesk as you're building your team is it's really pretty on the inside. So in the past, we had various other types of email apps and softwares that we were using, and it was tough to train because it was just kind of clunky. You really needed to spend time to familiarize yourself with all of the setup, and so it really helps keep costs down and keeps mistakes to a minimum when we're using Flowdesk. So that's why we really love that one a lot. Now, speaking of emails, make sure that you click the link below this video for my Master Your Inbox mini course. This is an amazing resource with really actionable tips so that you can get to inbox zero. I don't know about you, but I'm spending more time than ever on Zoom calls these days, and it's really helpful to have something that is helping me transcribe those, record those, give me a summary of what's talked about there. And there's a really cool new wave of apps that can help you with those recording transcriptions and summaries. We've used a few, but right now I am loving Fathom Video. Right now it's totally free and it's really powered by AI. So what's awesome about Fathom in comparison to some of these other options is it will actually give you a video recording, not just audio recording, of the entire conversation that's happening on Slack. It gives you a really great transcript, and it gives you really helpful summaries of those calls. You can even sync it up to your Slack so that when you hit certain buttons using the Fathom interface, in real time, it can send messages to Slack, to your team. Oh, this came up in this meeting. Let's start to take action on it. Now, Fathom is currently free, which makes it a real no-brainer, but I have a hunch that even when they get out of their beta and make it paid, it's still going to be super affordable and worth it. Finally, in this conversation about tech stack, I can't not talk about Google Drive. Look, I know that you probably are already familiar with it, but so many business owners underestimate exactly what Google Drive can do. My team uses and relies on Google Drive for everything inside of our shared filing cabinet, from SOPs, written out procedures, to certain scorecards and spreadsheets and metrics that are super important for the business to be tracking every day, every week, every month. And simple Google Docs, spreadsheets, presentations, all of that stuff can live in Google Drive in a really easy way. It's awesome so that your team can have access to certain things. You can collaborate on certain documents together. And again, I know that there are options to have more complicated Google Docs or spreadsheets or whatever, but we keep things simple, and Google Drive just continues to get better and better with its features. I'll go deeper on this topic and give you other resources so that you can escape the grind, hire all-star VAs, and cut your work week in half. Now, if you want to continue learning about these CEO mistakes, make sure that you click on the video on the screen right now.